Welcome to Book in Sum, your go-to for bite-sized book summaries. We provide quick and informative summaries of some of the best books out there, from classics to modern bestsellers. Sit back, relax, and let us bring you the bite-sized essence of each book in just a few minutes.
The Boundaries of Desire by Berkowitz. This book explains why American law doesn't do justice in matters of sex. It explains how the law has failed to protect women who have suffered at the hands of abusive husbands, and how male-dominated courts often protect their own in cases of sexual offense against women. It also explains how a husband in America could rape his wife without penalty, why many registered sex offenders are minors, and why sex for money while being filmed isn't considered prostitution. Finally, it explains how women in America have only recently earned freedom from the complete control of a husband, and how the bounds of marriage, not to mention rules over employment, have changed dramatically for women in recent generations. Historically, it was considered a wife's duty to provide sex for her husband whenever he wanted it. This law was abolished in the United Kingdom in 1991 and was taken off the books in the United States in 1993. It wasn't until the second half of the 20th century when husbands started to lose the absolute power they had held over their wives, and women finally earned the right to work. Women's attitudes toward sex also evolved, especially with the development of birth control. Male-dominated courts have historically failed to protect women from sexual harassment or abuse, and many women have been denied justice in court, especially when it comes to rape cases. The credibility of a rape case also depended on the relationship between the rapist and victim. In 1984 in North Carolina, a man raped his girlfriend when she tried to break up with him, but the court didn't believe the assault could be considered rape, as the couple had been in a relationship. The legal system has failed to protect women from sexual assault, workplace harassment, and unjustly accused children of it. In the United States alone, over 17,000 underage victims have accused some 6,000 Catholic priests of sexual abuse. Yet few of these abusive priests have been registered as sex offenders, and many cases against the priests have been subsequently dropped. Courts have also unfairly targeted children in cases of sexual assault, often misjudging a victim's relationship with the adult in question. In the late 1980s, people began to believe that children who displayed aggressive sexual behavior would grow up to be sex offenders, and these children were then categorized with legal labels meant for adults. In the first half of the 20th century, homosexuality was considered a mental illness that needed to be cured. In the United States, homosexuality was a punishable offense, and gay men were often hospitalized or placed in mental institutions. Lesbians were targeted as well, but for different reasons. In the 1980s, the gay community began to call for equal rights and equal protection under the law, and the U.S. Supreme Court struck sodomy laws off the books in 2003. In 2015, same-sex marriage was legal in all 50 states. Nudity is tolerated in the comic book of art, but it depends on where the naked person is and who is watching. After World War I, performances by Isadora Duncan featured naked dancers who were modeled after Greek statues. Art performances that involved nudity were often considered high culture, so eroticism in performances was tolerated. However, American law enforcement shut down many strip clubs, sending riot squads to arrest dancers and owners accused of criminal conspiracy to violate public indecency laws. There are also double standards when it comes to sex and eroticism, as many countries allow pornography but forbid the practice of prostitution. Prostitution is now legal in many countries, including Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, Canada, Germany, and the Netherlands, but it's still a crime in many other countries. Sex workers are often discriminated against, and some countries have forced sex workers to be sterilized without their consent. Sex work is still criminalized in many countries, and many women have turned to it for survival. During World War II, the Nazis encouraged prostitution to increase productivity among male prisoners in concentration camps. Magdalena Walter was a German prisoner who was selected to serve as a prostitute at the concentration camp in Buchenwald. Throughout American history, non-white people have faced discrimination in society and in the courts, and white people still found ways to deny rights to and further oppress the black community. People widely believed that the end of slavery had turned black men into sexual criminals eager to target white women. George T. Winston, a white American educator, believed that freedom had transformed black men into brutes. As a result, interracial marriage was forbidden until 1967, as whites believed blacks had inferior blood and that offspring of interracial marriages threatened the white race as well as Western civilization. White people were also frightened of black children, and heated battles for civil rights took place in schoolyards. Before World War II, most anti-Asian racism was directed at Chinese people, as Chinese men were thought to be latent rapists, and Chinese women were thought to carry sexual diseases that were deadly to white men. American laws on sexuality and gender have a checkered past, as laws and courts were historically run by men at the expense of women. Historically, the legal system has also fallen short in its protection of children, Black people, homosexuals, and sex workers.
Thanks for watching this video from Book and Some. We hope you found this summary helpful in your listening journey. If you're interested in diving deeper into the topic or getting your hands on the whole book, be sure to check the description below where we've included links to the book and other related products that may be useful to you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on our latest book summaries. And feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions or requests for books you'd like us to cover. Thanks again for tuning in and happy listening.